it is important that you know when to set your boundaries.
There are support groups out there, non-governmental organizations, voluntary organizations that have support group for people going through mental health struggles. Someone who is going through mental health challenges, they will have some symptoms we can easily identify.
It is important that we communicate with empathy. Hey everyone, welcome back to Thrive with the Bumi Days. And if you're new here, I am Felix.
And I'm Olanike.
And it's so good to have you join us. We are delighted that you've decided to watch our videos. And if you find our videos interesting, insightful, informative, please click the subscription button, hit the notification bell so you can be notified when we drop new videos. On today's episode, we'll be talking about a topic that resonates with every parent. So whether you're a seasoned parent, an aspiring parent, a new parent, or just an individual out there, our topic today is how to support our loved ones going through mental health challenges, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. So at one point or the other in our lives, we probably have like this loved one that is struggling with their mental health, be it anxiety, depression, whatever the case may be. So we need to know how to support them, because I know everyone wants to support their loved ones.
Absolutely.
Want to assist them in navigating the journey, their mental health journey.
Absolutely.
To make them through the road to recovery, really.
Absolutely.
So we need to know what to do.
Absolutely.
When that comes up, and not just panic or isolate them or stigmatize them in an unknowingly way.
Indeed, mental health challenges can be overwhelming, isn't it?
It can be, and it can present in a way that even the person experiencing it might not say it. So it will be like an outlooker, be it like a loved one, family member, a friend that will point it out or notice it. So that's why we need to have this knowledge on how to support them through that trying time, really.
Absolutely. And just so you know, we are both healthcare professionals, we are both nurses. My wife is a mental health professional, mental health nurse, and I'm also a general nurse specialized in ophthalmic nursing. And so we'll be talking about those tips that would help us, not just we ourselves or us ourselves, but everyone out there in supporting our loved one. So get a cup of coffee, get comfortable, and let's dive straight into it.
Let's do so.
The first tip
in my own experience would be educating yourself about mental health, because before you can help someone, you need to know what you're dealing with. You need to be equipped with the knowledge of signs to look out for, symptoms that they will present, and like a way to treat them. You don't have to be like a professional to do that. It's out there online. You could just search depending on the symptoms you've kind of identified from your loved one. So in this case, you'll be able to know the early warning signs, things to look out for when they are presenting with these symptoms. So generally, someone who is going through mental health challenges, they will have some symptom we can easily identify. It could be like persistent sadness or low mood. It could present in them not getting out of bed, not doing any activities really. Another thing to look out for is changes in their sleep pattern. So it could be reduced sleep pattern, or they're getting too much sleep. They could be sleeping like 20 hours out of 24 hours. That's not entirely normal unless you're using like sleeping pills. So you need to watch out for this. Another thing to watch out would be difficulty in concentrating. They're unable to like make decisions by themselves. Things that would normally come to them easily doesn't anymore. It could be lack of focus at work. People might be pointing it out that they're not doing the activities, or unable to make decisions. You could ask them the simple things like, what do you want for dinner? And they're not even able to like say that out loud.
Wow.
So those are things you need to watch out for. Another thing is sometimes they exhibit like physical symptoms also, which could indicate that their mental health is not 100%. So we're looking at physical symptoms like headache, fatigue that could not be explained by physical health really, and also like weight loss or weight gain. So this would be like to the extreme, like extreme weight loss within a short period of time or weight gain within a short period of time. So those are the things we need to like watch out for as early warning sign and just point it out really.
Thank you. And just to summarize or to buttress what you've said, it's about educating ourselves on what mental health is all about. So if you're out there looking to support your loved one, it is important that you have the appropriate knowledge or the right knowledge that can help you support your loved one going through mental health challenges. So educating yourself is really important. And just like my wife rightly said, watching out for early warning signs would give us the right knowledge or help us provide us the right support to guide our loved ones or to give them the necessary support that our loved ones require in terms of managing their mental health, isn't it?
Yes.
Now, going further on that, the next point we'll be talking about is communicating with empathy, being patient, and be very supportive. We cannot overemphasize this, and I'll leave it to my wife to continue on that.
Yes, so once you've pointed out like your family member is struggling with their mental health, you need to understand it has to come from a place of empathy. You need to understand their experience, be supportive of them. So be patient, meaning that you need to give them like a time. So it's not a straight line to recovery, really. They need time. You need to celebrate like little wins, be it getting out of bed in the morning or having like dinner, hanging out with friends and family. So you need to like give them that kind of support and be patient with them. Just take the little wins like it's a big thing and celebrate them. So communicating with empathy, like it could come in a place of not unknowingly stigmatizing them or kind of judging them. So be it avoiding phrases like you're overreacting, you should get over it. Instead, you can replace that with phrases like I'm here for you, I'm here to support you. When you're ready, please reach out to me. I'm ready to be supportive as much as I can. So you need to like know what you're doing and be supportive of them in that aspect.
Okay. Oh, that's absolutely right, because we need to communicate with empathy to our loved ones going through mental health challenges. And we know that words can either build a bridge or create a wall. So we do not want to find ourselves in a situation where we're creating a wall between ourselves and our loved ones. Hence why it is important that we communicate with empathy. And it simply means listening to our loved ones without judging them. So if you're out there looking to support your loved ones going through mental health challenges, ability to communicate with empathy is really important.
It is.
Avoiding phrases that could hurt your loved one is also key. Put yourself in their situation and empathize with them. Be supportive as much as you can and listen to them without judging them.
Absolutely.
If you like our video, please hit the subscription button, put on your notification bell, like it as well, and share this video with your loved ones out there so they can also be educated on this lovely video channel. Following up on that second tip, the third tip we'll be talking about here is simply seeking support and professional help, isn't it?
Yes, you're right. So once you've identified that your loved one is going through these challenges or these struggles, you need to seek out for support, be it like support group, depending on what they are presenting with. There are support groups out there, non-governmental organizations, voluntary organizations that have support group for people going through mental health struggles. So it's like a place for people to share their experiences, what have worked for them. So it's like sharing lived experiences. So it's not just about someone telling you how to do it. It's more about someone that's gone through it, saying how they walked through it. So it's actually really, really important. Those support groups have proven to be very valuable. So another thing is, if you feel like your loved one has gotten to a point that they need professional help and you're unable to like decipher what to do with them, or you've been supportive enough but you feel like they need more, so you can seek out for professional help. It could be like reaching out to therapists with their consent, actually reaching out to therapists or mental health professionals to say, okay, this person I feel needs more support than what they are getting. Even though your support is invaluable, sometimes they need professional support. So don't shy away from it. It's out there. We just need to ask for professional support, and then we get it for our loved ones. And on the way to recover, when they get to a point, they would appreciate your support in doing that, really.
Wow, that's interesting, and thank you for buttressing on that point. You know, professional help is really key, hence why we need to encourage our loved ones to seek this help. There are numerous supports across different countries of the world that we can explore. If you're in the UK, just like us, you've got the National Health Service, groups like the Samaritan, and so many more. And these sort of services are available in different countries of the world. If you don't know which support is available, just go to Google, type it in there, and I'm sure you will find the information you require to support your loved one. So please do not let your loved one suffer alone. Don't suffer as well in silence. Speak out. Encourage your loved ones to seek support and seek professional help, and they will be supported accordingly.
Yes.
If you like our video, once again, hit the subscription button and put on your notification bell so you can be notified when we drop our videos. Also, don't forget to share with your loved ones. And so continue on our topic, which is how to support our loved ones going through mental health challenges. Always remember that mental health should be treated as we also treat physical health. So we cannot just say mental health or say physical health alone. Both should be managed accordingly. The next tip to supporting our loved one going through mental health challenges is setting boundaries. And I know you'll be shocked at what we've just said, because oftentimes we do not talk about this tip a lot. It is important that we set boundaries for our own well-being. Am I right to say that?
You're right, Felix. So if you're out there supporting your loved ones with mental health struggles, you need to be conscious of your own emotional well-being, because it can be very demanding, but it's a meaningful thing to do, supporting your loved ones to navigate their mental health journey. So you need to not neglect your own well-being in doing so. Like the phrase says, you can't pour from an empty cup. You need to be emotionally and mentally strong yourself. So if you feel like supporting them is having a negative impact on your emotional well-being, it might be a time to take a step back. You're still supporting them, but you're also kind of looking out for yourself, because you need to be in a good state of mind to support them further. So in a way, you need to like kind of take care of yourself, be it self-care, doing things for yourself. If you need to seek out to therapists, also just do so, because sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially if you don't have like professional knowledge or skills to do so. So setting boundaries, and if you can't do an activity or you can't support further for your own mental well-being, you just need to say it and just look for alternative support for your loved ones in doing so.
Thank you. Wow, that's really, really detailed. Because oftentimes we forget to look out for ourselves, and we don't set boundaries whilst we're trying to look out for our loved ones or supporting our loved ones, and then makes us, go downhill faster as individuals. So as a parent looking to support your loved one, or as an individual out there looking to support your loved ones, it is important that you know when to set your boundaries to look out for yourself. Please don't suffer in silence. Set boundaries and ensure that your own well-being is well catered for, whilst you are also getting that professional help and the support that your loved one require.
That's right.
We are so delighted to have you join us again, and we know that our video would impact you and empower you to be a better person and be a good parent. So if you're a parent and you've got children or your kids or your loved ones going through all these challenges, please do not hesitate to speak out, isn't it?
Yes.
And just so before you go, my wife is going to end up with a short story. And that story, and I'm going to say, that story that my wife is going to talk about is about what made you become a mental health nurse. just share a tip of the iceberg so that our audience can look forward to the full video on that at some point.
Yes. So before I go into sharing the story about myself, why I became a mental health nurse, just before I say that, so another thing to be very mindful of if you're supporting your loved one is helping them with simple tasks goes a long way. It could be tasks like cooking, because oftentimes people who are struggling with mental health, they find those activities very difficult or they cannot perform it. So be it supporting them in running errands, getting the grocery, and babysitting their children if need be, or even something like checking in on them via a text message or call would really go a long way.
Wow.
So bringing it back to why I became a mental health nurse.
Yeah.
So when I was young, I would say when I was like a young teenager, I had this family friend of mine. So she was more like a family than a friend. So she's like a sister to my dad.
Wow.
So she's a mental health nurse. She recently retired. And at one point she had to I had to stay with her, I think basically like babysit me in that period. So she was on call, so she had to take me to our workplace briefly. And I saw how people were working. At that point, I never had the idea I was going to be a nurse.
Wow.
Even at that point, not to talk of a mental health nurse. So at that point, I wanted to be something else, but in the medical line. So she took me there and I saw the way mental health nurses were supporting people, the way they were talking. I was fortunate enough to sit through like a therapy session or a ward round session. And I just felt like, I think this is something I can do. This is something I'm interested in.
Interesting.
And well, I'm going to talk about it more later. But that's like a snippet of why I became a mental health nurse. But there's still like journey so far, how I came to be, what actually made me decide to do so. But that was just like my first exposure to mental health. So I think that was what piqued my interest. But at that point, it wasn't like a deciding moment or something. But reflecting back, I think that was the first time I had contact with mental health support or mental health nurse or anything relating to mental health, really.
That's quite interesting, isn't it? So to our audience out there, if you fancy becoming a mental health nurse, stay tuned to our video and watch out for that video episodes where we'll be talking about why we became nurses and why my wife decided to be a mental health nurse. And just to recap what we've talked about today, we've been talking about how to support our loved ones going through or with mental health challenges. The first, we did talk about educating ourselves about what mental health is all about. We then talked about watching out for early warning signs. We moved on to talk about seeking support and professional help. And then we talked again about
communicating with empathy, being patient with them, and being supportive.
Absolutely.
Then we went on to saying setting boundaries for our own well-being, and finally supporting them with practical skills or tasks.
Practical tasks. So offering support or offering help for practical tasks. Those are the tips that we think would help you support your loved one going through mental health challenges. Till we see you next time, have a fantastic day ahead. Bye-bye.